This is Miss Martin. As promised, here is your online tutorial for homework help. I will be doing a 2-digit multiplication in an array model. So let's get started. Let's say we had multiplier 56 times 38. One thing to remember that we've kind of talked about, and let me write up here, this will be 2-digit multiplication array. That's important. So one thing we talked about today was recognizing or remembering that you're not just multiplying 56 times 3 and 56 times 8, but you're multiplying 56 times 8 ones and 56 times 30. This 3 is in the tens place, so remember that. I know oftentimes when we're doing multiplication vertically and we're just doing it like this, it's really easy to just think I'm multiplying 8 times 6, 8 times 5, 3 times 6, 3 times 5, so on and so forth. But one thing that I want you really to understand is that this is 30 and it's not 3. Although it looks like I'm just multiplying 3 times 6 here and 3 times 5, really you're multiplying 30 times 6, 30 times 5. So let's let that make a little bit more sense by showing you the array model. So first things first, you're not the realist like Iggy Azalea. Okay, never mind, a little bit of pop culture. You're gonna start by representing this 56 going horizontally down your page. Now, multiplication is commutative, so it doesn't really matter if you go vertical or horizontal, vertical, whatever. It doesn't really matter. So I'm just gonna do it vertically going down the page. I don't know why I kept saying horizontally, but you understand. So here it goes. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 6 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So like a good mathematician, I am going to label my sketch. So I know this represents 10. These don't have to be perfect either. Okay, so this represents 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 6 ones. Make sense? Okay. Now going across my array, I'm going to represent the 38 here. So this is going to be 10, 20, 30, and 8 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like a good mathematician, I'm going to label my sketch. 10, 10, 10, and 8 ones. So now step 3 is I'm going to connect my ones. Starting here, I'm just going to bring this all the way down. And I'm going to take this ones here and go all the way over. Now I'm connecting my array. Okay? So next, I'm now going to connect my tens to the edge of the array. So I'm just literally going to draw these little tick marks out a bit. They touch the end of my array. Okay? Let me make sure these ones are really defined. Okay, 3, 6. Okay. Then now I'm going to go down for this multiplier, the 38, bring down my tick marks here. And these are really your tens. But this now creates what we call a grid. Now you're actually ready to multiply. So just as any numeric or multiplication chart, you're literally just going to multiply the 10 here by the 10 here, 10 by 10 here, 10 times 10 here, and then 10 times 8. Then you're going to move down here. Go 10 times 10, 10 times 10, 10 times 10, 10 times 8. Ready? Okay. So I know 10 times 10, and you can kind of just pretend there's a little multiplication sign there. So I know this is 100. This 10 times this 10 is 100. This 10 times this 10 is 100. This 10 times 8 is 80. You have finished your first set. Then you're going to move down to the next tens. 10 times 10 is 100. 10 times 10 is 100. 100 is 80. Then you're going to do 10 times 10, which is 100. 10 times 10, which is 100. 10 times 10, which is 100. And finally 10 times 8, is 80. Okay? I know it feels really repetitive, but it's going to make sense in just a moment. 10 times 10 is 100. 100. 100. And 80. Okay? 10 times 10, 100. 100. 100. And 10 times 8 is 80. Finally, you have a 6 here. So 6 times 10 is 60. 6 times 10 is 60. 6 times 10 is 60. And 6 times 8 is 48. Now you are ready to add. What's important to recognize though, and this is just a little tidbit, your 56 times 8, your 56 times 8 is represented here on this half of the array. Your 56 times 30, 56 times 30 is represented here in this portion of the array. I hope that makes sense. Again, your 56 times 8, here's your 56, times your 8, because you multiplied these numbers by 8, is represented on this half of the array. This here is representative of your 56 times 8. If you added all these numbers up and put that number here, it will be the exact same thing as when you multiply your 8 times 6, your 8 times 5, and what is represented here underneath your answer. Let me go ahead and show you. So first, I don't need to actually write down like all of these 100s, do I? No. That's why multiplication saves our life. So we don't have to do that. I know I could just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which is representative of the 1,000, right? And then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. So this is 1,500. Do I need to write 15 100s going down my page? No. That's representative of a no. I'm literally just going to write out 1,500. Okay, great. When I've added, or put it over here to the side to add, I'm going to cross it out so that I don't get confused and think I need to add that number in. Sometimes when we do math, most of it is we're going too fast. And you sometimes end up adding a number that you've already added, or you subtract a number you've already subtracted, so on and so forth. So just as mathematicians should, we're going to be, strategic and cross off what we've already done, taken care of. So now let's take care of these 80s over here. So I've got 81, I got 1, 82, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 80s sitting over here. Do I need to actually write out 85 times on this side of the page? No. So what multiplication is for. So I know that I've got 5 80s. I know that 8 times 5 is 30. Add my 0 means I know that that's going to equal 300. Okay? And if you are a person who maybe you are not really great with your mental math, which that is okay. You could even just kind of group these knowing that 8 plus 8 is 16. So I know that's 160. So I know that's 160. And then you can maybe just add your 80 out. So then you could just add these. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to do it just this way. So for those of us who are good with the mental math, do your mental math that works for you. And for others of us, go ahead and break it out if you have to. So we've taken care of our 80s. We've got it over there. We're going to cross those out. Then we're going to take care of our 60s. Do I need to write 63 times on my piece of paper over here? No. I know that 6 times 3 is 18, so I'm just going to assume that is 180. Well, I'm not going to assume, I know. Because mathematics is not about what we know, it's what we can prove. And I can prove that 6 times 3 is 18 and that should equal 180. I'm going to go ahead and cross those out. While that's remaining is my 48. So I'm going to go ahead and put my 48 there. Now all I'm required to do is literally just add. All right, so 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 8 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12 plus 0 plus 0. So I'm going to put my 2 down, going to carry my 1. 5 and 3 is 8 plus 9 plus 1 is 10 plus 1 more is 11. Put my 1 down, carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. These represent 0, so I'm going to bring my 2 down, and the answer is 2,128. Forgot to cross that off. That is the array model. So let me just go ahead and do a check. Since we're used to doing math the long way, let's say 56 times 38. Let's do a check really quick. Well, 8 times 6 is 48. I'm going to put the 8 down. I'm going to carry the 4. 8 times 5 is 30. 8 times 5 is 40. Did I do that right? 8. Wait, so 8 times 5, we have a little bit of an issue here. 8 times 5 is actually 40, so that makes this 400. I know some of you probably were sitting at home like, Miss Martin, it is not 300, it is 400. So that's going to change my math a little bit here. So that is 12, that's 9, 10, 11. Did I do my math even wrong? 8, 9, 10. So if I had even done my math wrong. So my number is actually right. When I had that, let me explain. When I had that this was 300, just because like I said, doing math is sometimes us going too fast, and I'm going to leave the error in this video just so you can see how we double check. This is why the check is important. This is Miss Martin just proved it. Sometimes we go so fast we think we know the answer and we don't check our work. Well, we're going to check our work. So when I had the 3 here, I added, and I still was adding too fast, and I did 5 and 3 being 8, 9, and 10, but I still put 11 here. I still put down 1 and carried the 1. So the answer that I came up with was correct, but my math was wrong, actually. So when I got down here to do the actual check the long way to see if it worked, I realized, wait, 8 times 5 is really 40, because 6 times 5 is 30. Then I realized my math was wrong. So I went back to figure out where in my array I had done the wrong math. Does that make sense? I'm glad I actually made a legitimate mistake so that you can see how mathematicians, you know, get it wrong within how we go about finding our mistake and getting it right. And sometimes it means we have to slow down. I'm kind of talking a mile a minute and trying to do it fast so that this video isn't 15 minutes long, but that's what it's looking like. So anyway, back to the math. So 8 times 5 is 40, plus 4 more is 44. I put my 0 down here to represent that we're moving into a different place value. 3 times 6 is my 18. So I'm going to put my 8 down. I'm going to carry my 1. That's going to go on top of my 4. Now, I sometimes cross it out just so you don't get confused. Some people put it in squares or triangles, whatever. Whatever works for you. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 1 more is 16. I'm going to put my 16 here. And then, whoop, now I'm going to add. Remember what I said, though. This here is representative. I'm sorry, this here is representative or totals the product of 56 times 8. If this is 400, this would be 448. I could write 448 here. Look at my math over here. Where's the 448? When I multiply the 8 times 6 and the 8 times 5, I got 448. If I were to add all of this up, which I know this is 1,500, plus my additional 180 here, that gives me 1,680. I know that 56 times 30 is 1,680. When I multiplied the 3 times the 6, which is really 30, and then 30 times 5, this gave me my 1,680. Now I can literally just add going all the way down. So 8 plus 0 is 8. 4 plus 8 is 12. Put the 2 down, carry the 1. 4 and 6 is 10, plus 1 is 11. Carry the 1. 1 and 1 is 2. The answer is 2,128. It checks. That, folks, is the 2-digit multiplication in an array model.